So today we're going to talk about what is personality. So let me share my screen with you. So the definition of personality sometimes is a little challenging for people. So the technical definition of personality is a pattern of relatively permanent traits and unique characteristics that give both consistency and individuality to a person's behavior. So let's break that down a little bit. First of all, we're talking about a pattern. What we see when we observe people is that they consistently behave in a certain way. So these are observable behaviors. Okay, and they're going to be relatively permanent. The important word here is relatively. And what that means is that for the most part, they're going to be permanent. Research has shown that as we age, our personality does change somewhat. We can also expect personality change if people experience a neurological disorder or if they experience some sort of neurological or brain change, such as trauma or such as brain trauma itself. So we're talking about traits such as extroversion or conscientiousness, and then unique characteristics being large groups of traits. So these are going to give people's behaviors consistency, meaning that we're going to see that they're similar over time. And then they're also going to give individuality to each person. So what that means is that even if both of us have high scores on introversion, that our behaviors may be different. So that is personality. Now let's contrast that a little bit with a couple other research areas of psychology. So for example, social psychology is going to deal with how social situations influence our behaviors. And many times students have trouble because they say, well, my personality changes depending on what situation I'm in. And that's not true. What ends up changing is your behaviors. Your personality itself does not change, but the behaviors change based upon the situation. So those personality traits are going to be maintained internally inside of us, while our behaviors may change based upon what we call the demands or the requirements of a social situation. So what we have here is personality is relatively permanent traits. So while our behaviors may change in different social situations, our personality does not change due to the social situations. And so, as we said, personality may change over the lifetime, but it does not change on a day-by-day basis, okay? So in terms of what is a theory is a related set of assumptions that allows scientists to use logical deductive reasoning to formulate testable hypotheses. So in personality, what we're referring to when we talk about a theory are all of the ideas that a theorist has come up with about two things. One, what makes up their personality or what makes up personality in a person in general. And then the second part of a personality theory is how do we get one? How does personality develop? So many of the theories that we're going to look at this semester do two things. One, they describe your personality or a personality. And two, they describe how the personality came to be, what social situations or experiences influenced that personality. Next up, we'll talk about why we have so many theories. So hopefully this has given you some insight into what actually personality is, how it is defined, and how it is different from social psychology, and why it is that we do not say that our personality changes based upon our social situation, because as we now know, it doesn't. Thanks.